All right, everyone. This is Jennifer Sanchez. How is everyone doing today? We are live, so I'm just going to confirm that we are live right now on our Wise page. So we're very excited to have you on board, everyone that's chiming in right now. And today's one of those fun days, right? We have a new guest and I'm excited to bring her on today with us. So let us know if you are on. We want to make sure that if you are watching from the Jennifer Sanchez profile, or we are also live on YouTube at Women's Self Development. So, my name is Jennifer Sanchez. Again, I'm from the Women's Institute of Self Development and Efficacy. I'm the founder of the Wise Morning Coffee Chat, and I'm excited to have everyone on here today with us. We do this show for inspiration, motivation, and conversation, right? ICM. And we just wanted to bring some amazing topics. So, this is who I am. So, Andrea, let them know you are this month's co-host. Let them know who you are.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Andrea Espinoza. I've been with Wise since it started back in 2018. I've been on and off, but now, I'm back and I'm on board. And I did the coaching program, which is a life changer, by the way. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter of God. So, yeah, I'm really excited to be here. A little nervous, but excited.
Good, good. So I'm glad. So Andrea, like I said, she's this month's co-host. We definitely want to bring women who are part of the community to promote the women. So we're excited to have you on, Andrea, and have a conversation with you today. So, of course, everyone knows that we always talk about this amazing topic. So take it away, Andrea.
All right, coffee time. So here's my coffee. I'm just drinking regular Nescafe, Café de Olla, the special one. Just with a little sugar. That's it. Because the canela takes over you know, that flavor. So yeah, it's really good. What are you
Nice.
drinking?
So we definitely have amazing coffee as our sponsor. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, actually, I'm drinking dark coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. I like dark coffee, dark roast. But our sponsor is Jackie Camacho Ruiz from the Amazing Coffee, and it is Café de Olla, like
Mm-hmm.
Andrea's. So we always like to switch it up once in a while. But for me, coffee, I need it strong. Like I can't, and usually 1 cup, no sugar, no cream is good enough for me. So that's usually what I drink. So if you guys are just chiming in, let us know what you're drinking this morning. We want to know what you guys are drinking. And of course, we might actually, for those that are tuning in, if you guys are on, let us know. We definitely want to hear from you what you're drinking. We might bring you on one of these days and you can be a guest,
Yeah.
during our show. So let us know because we're excited to hear from everyone here. So let's go and talk. I know we have a lot of interesting topics that we wanted to talk about. Andrea actually brought a lot of great things that we should be focusing on. So I thought, why not? We definitely wanted to even talk about the bombing that happened in Lebanon, I believe, right,
Yes.
Andrea? So go
Yes.
ahead and share a little bit about that if people are not familiar.
So there was a bombing in Lebanon. It wasn't a bombing, actually. They said it was a warehouse of fireworks, which started the whole incident. So it killed nearly 150 people. Also, so in this warehouse, they had about 2,750 tons of, it's called ammonium nitrate. So it's an explosive, and it has been there since 2013. So they were just storing it there. The reasons why the government doesn't don't want to say anything, they're just saying that it was a storage and they said it was safe. And then the president was just saying that since 2013, he told them about 10 times that they need to get rid of it. They need to do something with it because it's dangerous. So it was last week on Tuesday, I believe, when the explosion happened. So it caused a carnage over 6 miles from the explosion point, and then it was felt more than 100 miles away. So if you can imagine that, if that would have happened in Chicago, in downtown, we would have felt it all the way to like Cicero. So if you put in that perspective, imagine how big of explosion it was. Because in the video, I feel like it doesn't really do justice of how when you see the numbers and the explosion radius, it doesn't do justice to where it hit or how big it was. But a
That's
hundred miles, it's big. It's
100
wide.
is really large, actually. And we have
Mhm.
some people chiming in. We have Mary. She said, "My coffee is black." We have Yamalet. Good morning, ladies.
Good
Drinking my
morning, Gemini.
coffee with hazelnut creamer. So hazelnut creamer, we love those creamers. And of course,
Yep.
Mary said McCafe Black. I didn't realize she said. I thought she said like she was speaking Spanish. My cafe, like
Mac Cafe.
McCafe. So thank you for sharing, ladies. I'm glad that you brought that up, Andrea, because of the 100-mile radius. Because my
Mhm.
husband actually showed me an image of if it were to explode in downtown, like what you were saying,
Mhm.
we would literally still feel it, and we're on the outside, on the west
Yeah.
suburbs, on the border of
Mhm.
the Chicago border. We would feel it as well in the town that
Mhm.
I live in. So
Exactly.
I like that you shared that. I mean, I think I saw one video, and I just saw like a bride, and she was taking pictures, and like,
Yes.
did you see that? She
There
got
were actually two
blown.
brides. Mhm.
I only saw one. I don't know which one.
Yes.
I saw one. She was gorgeous. She was taking her picture. She was by
Mhm.
herself, and then like she literally flew. All you see is her
Mhm.
feet go up in the air. Which one did you see?
Um, I don't think I saw that one. I saw the other one where they were taking a video and it was going down from the dress up, and once it got to her face, you just saw poof,
Oh
and
gosh.
and she didn't fly out. She just kind of like fell, and like her husband ran to her, but you couldn't really see it because I guess the cameraman like flew, so you could just see like the street and all this dust, and it was bad. I mean, there were glass windows broken in buildings that were far away from the
Yeah.
explosion.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely scary, and I think we saw even like if you see some videos, you saw different kind. I know that there's a specific thing when it comes to the smoke. So
Hmm.
I'm not the expert. Maybe whoever's watching is the expert, but specific colors where like you know that it's actively burning when it's like I want to say like a light color smoke, and then when it's like taken out, like when the fire is gone and water's on it, I believe it gets to like a gray, a darker color. I might be wrong. I might have it flipped, but
I think
usually
it's flip, right?
it's based off
I
the
don't know.
color.
Hmm.
But when you saw the video, you saw like five different colors. I'm not a chemist and I'm not a scientist. I don't.
Yes.
I got through chemistry with the B in college, so you know, so I
Hmm.
don't know exactly what creates what, but I know that
Hmm.
that was something that we wanted to bring to everyone's attention and see what people
Yeah.
thought about that. And if you guys are watching, share what did you think about the explosion? And I think it's Beirut, right? It was Beirut. I might be saying
Beirut,
it wrong.
yes.
Beirut, the Beirut.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Beirut. Let's just go with Beirut.
Okay, awesome. So this is great conversation. We're gonna go on to our next topic, which I think this is the reason why me and Andrea were like, okay, we definitely need to talk about the Turkish women's rights campaign. You want to start it off, Andrea, and kind of give a little perspective?
Yes. So many of us have received a message from a loved one or a friend or family saying, I challenge you to post a white and black picture of yourself. And a lot of women have done it. I took a little bit longer to do it because I was like, why are we posting these pictures of black and white, you know? Um, but when you really look at why people are doing it or why it started, it has a story that hits home. You know, domestic violence. I'm a survivor of domestic violence in two relationships. Um, and just doing like I had no idea of how many women are killed or in a domestic violence relationship until you see the numbers, you know. So this whole thing started in Turkey, with Turkey women, um, because their violence is increasing. There in 2019 there were 474 women that were killed by domestic violence. So and increased by 200%. So it since 2013 it increased 200%. So imagine 200% of an increasement, you know. So the reason why they were putting these pictures is because in Turkey, when a person dies or when a woman died, they would put their picture in the newspaper, and of course, the newspaper is black and white and gray, you know. So the picture would appear on the newspaper. So women started doing it as, what if your loved one was the next one on the newspaper, you know? So and the hashtags is the most important part of the challenge or the awareness that it was bringing. But with all this um, social media and hashtags, the main concept was getting lost in the process. You
Yeah.
know, hashtag women's empowerment, hashtag women's are strong. All those are great hashtags. And, you know, we should be empowering each other. But the main hashtags were, say, they were in Turkish, and I don't have any idea how to pronounce it. But in English, it said, say no to violence against women and enforce the, I'm going to say this wrong, Istanbul Convention. So that was a law that was passed in 2012. It was a law enforced that against violence um, over women. But, you know, the rate doubled after that. So now they're trying to blame, you know, the government saying that they don't implement laws and all that. So women just got tired and tried to put it in their own hands, and they started doing this black and white pictures. But
Mm.
you know, we were doing research, and the numbers, not just in Turkey, worldwide, are, you know, spiking up like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. Let me make sure I say hi. We have Christina. She said hi, ladies. Hi, Christina. We
Hi,
have
Christina.
Angel, Ressa. Hi, how's everyone doing? We're excited that you're on. Let us know what you drinking. You guys know the drill. If you don't know, we got our coffee here. It's a coffee morning chat, right? It's all about just us. And the
Mhm.
concept really came, I don't know if you guys follow me. It's just to give a little before we get back into the topic. I
Mhm.
always did wise coffee chats. Wise coffee chats. I always had I did a Facebook Live and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do
Mhm.
a coffee chat this morning. Let's get together. And I talked about a topic and then we engaged, right?
Mhm.
In the Wise Women Support Group. Like as I'm talking, people are replying back, and we're like, I love engaging, right? So I
Right.
said, I want to do a radio show, and I used to do radio all the time, but with the 10-month-old, it's kind of hard. And then with COVID, like I can't get back in the studio because I do have access to a studio through Illinois Media School. So I was like, why don't I just do something from home
Right.
and bring co-hosts every month, like bring people every month, give exposure to women from the wise community every Monday morning, right? Like have a different co-host that's like the part of the community, and bring and expose people, exposure to women. That's what I'm all about. So that's where this started. So share what coffee you're drinking with us, because we want to applaud you. Sometimes you see some really creative coffees out there, and then you're like, dang, where did you get that creativity from?
Yeah.
Because have you heard of nutmeg in coffee, Andrea? Yes.
No.
Yeah, I have. Like
Oh,
when you
wow.
start talking about coffee, you see some real creative stuff out there, what people do with their coffee cups. So
Yeah.
I always like to ask the question because I want to see what people, and sometimes people are tea people. Some people just want to drink tea. They're like, I'm all about
Yeah.
tea. I don't even like coffee. All right, tell me what creative tea you have for us this morning, because some of
Yeah.
those are actually creative too. Um, so let's go back into,
Mhm.
I just wanted to make sure I share that with those that are jumping on. I think also to chime in, Andrea, with what you were saying, it's really the murder of Pinar Gutekin. I'm assuming that's how I pronounced it. Um, and I don't know how to pronounce the accent mark, but Gultekin. So she basically was a person that was murdered by her boyfriend that kind of catapulted or started all of the
Yeah.
protests in Turkey, because they just had enough. I think it was a 27-year-old young woman. She was
Mhm.
murdered by her boyfriend, and she was found in the woods, similar to like Vanessa Guillen, right? Um,
Mhm.
they found her body, and then it just sparked outrage. And then
Yeah.
I think this is why we talk a lot about women and women's rights and domestic violence, and we like to talk about things that are going on in society and really bring exposure to what's going on out there. And I think that's probably why I wanted to talk about, femicide. And
Yes.
I think you were talking about these numbers. What was the global number of women murdered throughout the globe? I think you said like a really large number. I don't know if it was 30,000 or it was with a three.
Yeah, it was high. I don't remember writing
I
it down.
and I
The
think you said
global one.
the global one. I think you said it was three. I want to say 30,000 throughout the globe. I might be wrong, but it was a very large. I'm sure we'll find it right now.
Yeah.
But either way, like the idea that what is femicide, right? So we know genocide is when you kill a mass of people, right? We hear
Mhm.
genocide all the time, like Jewish people back in World War II, right? The concentration
Mhm.
camps. That's genocide.
Right.
Uh, if you guys have ever seen Hotel Rwanda, oh, such an amazing movie. I remember I saw it in one of my violence and society classes in college. We watched it, and it's a whole murder of an entire tribe, in Africa.
Mhm.
So it's a really good movie if you guys haven't watched it. So now femicide is literally just the killing of women, right? And it's a trend. And I think our last show with Christina, we were talking about how, women second class citizens and not being taken
Mhm.
seriously. So obviously this is still an issue because we have a whole category called femicide. It's
Right.
not right. I don't think there's a menicide. Have you heard of a menicide? Me either. I know.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to be funny. Bringing. I'm just bringing some thinking. Right. Let's think about
Right.
this. Mary said loved Hotel Rwanda. See, I did too. I thought that was a Chivo. I can't forget how to say his name. Chivo was in it. He was a main actor. He did really well in that movie. So let's go back to femicide. So as we were discussing femicide, Andrea, you also stumbled on some information. So Turkey, right? We have this black and
Yes.
white challenge, and I
Mhm.
think for me, when I saw it, I was like, cool. Like I think I had someone nominate me and send me the message, and I was like, oh, this is
Mhm.
cute. I really don't
Mhm.
take part in these challenges. Like, personally, I just don't.
Right.
Um, it's cute, but sometimes I just don't. I don't want to put a picture of myself up. To be honest with you, just like it's okay. I rather promote other people. I'm very strategic on certain things that I put on my social media profile. Sometimes I want to spark some thoughts, so I rather
Mhm.
put. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch the trend, see how this goes.
Mhm.
I always see the tagging challenge accepted, and put a picture of yourself, and that's great.
Yes.
More power to the people that participate. But then I realized, oh my God, this is more than that. This is to bring exposure to
Yeah.
the women being killed in Turkey, and I think we wanted to bring attention because we want women that are doing this challenge to make sure that they're putting the correct hashtags,
Yes.
which I believe you said Istanbul Convention is one. I think people want her name also in the
No.
hashtag Pinar Gutekin. They want that as a hashtag. And there was one more that you said. Was it women's empowerment or?
No, they were both in Turkey, so I don't know what it says. But in English, it says "Say no to violence against women." That's one hashtag, and the other hashtag was to enforce the Istanbul Convention, which is the law
The
against.
law.
Hmm. But
Good.
I think it's very important to, it's not just about putting a cute picture of yourself in black and white and looking cute for Facebook or Instagram. It's more about putting the correct hashtag and knowing the reason behind, not just, I mean, women's empowerment, it's also great, but the main reason why this all started, like, it's getting lost. Like I've seen people just put challenge accepted, not even hashtags, and just put in a black and white picture. And I feel like we need to bring awareness to why we are doing this, because you could be the next one that could be in the newspaper. So imagine how your family is going to feel, your friends,
Yeah.
everybody, to bring awareness of what's going on. And even in Mexico, like, this is crazy. I had no idea that Japan was one of the largest countries where feminize happens, or I'm not sure if I said that right.
You said it. Femicide. Femicide.
It happens. Um, and just doing research, in Mexico not so long ago, there was a protest that was going on because all this killing was going on. And since coronavirus has hit, now that everybody's home and you have nowhere to go, domestic violence cases doubled because now everyone's home. Now you can't avoid it. You can't go anywhere. So it's also, dangerous bringing, being with your kids. I, I went through that, and I can't imagine being with my partner, whatever he was at that moment, and being in the same house for, 2 weeks or months now. So if you need help, reach out, like, I don't know. I don't know what to say in that topic. It's very touchy.
Well, yeah, it is touchy. It is a big issue. So, if anyone is struggling with domestic violence that might be watching, there are hotlines that you
Yeah.
can call. A lot of times, people don't know that there's help out there, and they think
Yes.
that they have to put up with the abuse.
Whatever.
So, we
Hmm.
have so we want to make sure that as part of this show, we do
Yeah.
put a hotline out there. There's also 24-hour confidential sexual assault hotline. So again,
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep sharing these phone
Yeah.
numbers as the show
Hmm.
goes on, so people can call, because people don't know that immigration status is not a reason.
Hmm.
You can
To
still
stop
get
you.
help.
Hmm.
uh, there's still funding out there that you can take
Yeah.
advantage of if you're struggling
Hmm.
with domestic violence. There
Hmm.
should be a safety plan. You need to get in touch with counselors, right? There's people out
Hmm.
there that actually can put a plan together
Yes.
for you to
Hmm.
safely get out of an unhealthy relationship. And we can talk more about that as we continue, but we
Hmm.
definitely want to we'll come back to this topic, but we wanted to
Mhm.
focus on femicide, right?
Mhm.
And the reason why it's such a, it's such a big, it's a global issue. It really is a global issue, right? Um, so I know that we were even looking at like statistics. Like I remember like Ciudad de Juarez in Mexico was
Mhm.
a big place where there was a lot of femicide.
Oh, yes.
And even in gender women studies classes I've taken, we've researched and studied Ciudad de Juarez because there was a lot of murders, and they would just like throw them over into like trenches or rivers. Like they would kill the woman and just throw her over. So there was actual protests that we saw even in Mexico, and there was no awareness to these
At
protests
all.
at all. I wasn't aware of it until Andrea told me about. I knew about Ciudad de Juarez and I knew about the murders there.
Mhm.
And for those that are watching that don't know what Ciudad de Juarez is, that's where the border is from the United States to Mexico, where people cross, whether
Mhm.
they're coming in illegally or however they come in. That's like a
Mhm.
border area. And from one thing that I did see was that. Where was it? I think it was an activist was
Oh, yeah,
killed.
she was killed.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was a young female artist and activist in the Mexican border
Mhm.
city of Juarez who got murdered, and as a result, there was a lot of
Mhm.
protest. Her name was Isabel Cabanillas de la Torre. She was killed in January, right? But
Mhm.
it sparked a lot of protest as a result of it. So,
Yeah.
but no one ever was, we never even heard about this stuff, that this was going on. But just to give people an idea, 1,500 killings happened in Juarez just in
Mhm.
2019. So that's something to think about. If we're looking at numbers in 2019, Ciudad de Juarez, 1,500. That is actually almost triple the number from what's happening in Turkey, and
Yeah.
why they're doing the black and white photo challenge. So
Mhm.
let's bring some perspective here right now. Let's bring some perspective here. We have this issue.
Mhm.
He's creating a campaign, black and white campaign, to bring exposure to the issue and enforce some laws. Yet
Mhm.
we have on the other side of the world, we have women being murdered, and it's 1,500 women got murdered at Ciudad de Juarez, and we did not hear anything about it.
Yep.
Nothing.
Media.
Nada.
Mhm.
Right?
And it
So,
was a big protest. Like there's pictures of all these women, and they were saying, I know they were walking around saying, they were singing. Let me just have that song come to me. No, it went. I'll translate it to English, but it said, "No era mi culpa cómo iba o cómo iba vestida." Um, so it was pretty much saying it's not my fault what I dress or how I dress. We need to punish the people that are responsible. So in Mexico, there's this big machismo going on where guys think they're on top, above women. So now they're trying to say that all this rape and killing is happening because us women are dressing with short skirts or short shorts, or the tank top was too, out there. So women are trying to say it's not what we're wearing, it's society and men, how they're, you know, thinking, oh, they can do whatever they want. But it's really not. So they were marching and saying this as they were marching, and there's pictures and videos, and I had no idea this was going on. Um,
mm-mm, mm-mm.
and I feel like media has a lot to do with it. That, oh, that's in Mexico, let's not bring it over here, because then we're gonna start a whole protest in the United States, because the numbers here are crazy too. They're really high.
Well, let's go with the number. So in Mexico itself, just so people are aware, it's 3,825 women have died in Mexico in 2019. So that's about 10 women a day are being killed in Mexico, right? And that is
Mhm.
7% higher than 2018. We'll share all these articles in the comment section of the broadcast, right? So we're going with
Mhm.
that. Now, as I was talking with Andrea, then I said, let me look at the numbers of women being killed in the United States, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so I said, let me look at that. So we have actually in the United States alone, we have so I couldn't find 2019 numbers. I found 2017 numbers, but that is
Mhm.
two. In 2017, the number's 2,237 in 2017, and these are homicides by intimate partners. Okay, so we're not talking, it's homicides. We're not saying femicides, right? Because we can't say whether it is
Right.
femicide or not. Um, we have a comment here. Christina says, I don't understand what is happening in this world. It's like human life is not being valued. Women are being treated like replaceable items, trash even. Where is the respect to human life? I agree,
Yeah.
Christina. Where is the respect to human life? And I wonder, it's saying that the numbers are rising, right? It's saying that the numbers are rising. So, that to me is something where, okay, what's going on? What are the trends? Was it that people weren't saying things before, right? Because it
Right.
almost, it almost, right? It almost seems like, well, I would think now we should have more rights as women, right? We have our generation, the generation of the millennials, which by the way,
Mhm.
those are the people that are born in the 80s and early 90s, not the
Yeah.
2000s. Okay, let me educate some people up in here.
Yeah.
Because millennials are not kids born in the 2000s. That's a whole
No.
different generation. Actually, I saw something that said we're Zennials, the ones that are in the 80s, 83, 84, 85. I think even I might have hit that border because I'm between both. But either way, our generation didn't struggle the same way as a woman that tried to go to college or go to work in the 70s, right? Our
Right.
generation, the women that, if you have ever seen pictures of women trying to go to school or go to the university, they're like one in their class, like one woman, two women, and then like a whole
Mhm.
bunch of men, right? You see women even like trying to wear like little, like almost like little bow ties when they're going to business
Mhm.
school, like trying to fit in
Blend in. Yep.
with the male attire.
Mhm.
So I can only imagine the struggle of older generations that had to go through for us to be like, it's a lot easier for us to go to school, a lot easier for us to work, a lot easier.
Mhm.
We have access to education. So it almost baffles me, the idea that, oh my God, the numbers are rising,
Yeah.
yet we should be in a different place in society right now.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
almost seems like everything's being reversed, right? Everything from even like Jim Crow laws, everything we've been working so hard for society now. Because remember, civil rights era, it was also about women. That was the time when
Right.
women were burning their
Mhm.
bras, and
Yes.
they were. I mean, the right to vote happened in 1910 or something like that. Like, we should be way far beyond this, but it almost seems like still globally women struggle in this area. Um,
Yep.
so thank you, Christina. Christina even said, I'm sorry, and it's going to get worse if we don't do anything about it. One of my theories is that pornography is even more accessible now and women are treated like sex objects. That's a great thing to think about. The idea of, the sex industry, pornography. I mean, and we were talking about this. Christina actually was with us last month. So we were
Mhm.
talking about how we're objectified as women. And it could be also because we are so objectified. That could be a reason why there's so much femicide. There's still the
Mhm.
value of a woman is not the same, right, as a man. So it is. I appreciate, Christina, you sharing that information or sharing that thought. And if anyone else has any thoughts on this, go
Yes, of
for
course.
it. Share, right? Um, but
Mhm.
but we want to definitely keep discussing how domestic violence, right? If anyone is struggling with domestic violence, there is a hotline.
Mhm.
Get access to resources, to get a strategy, an exit strategy, right?
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter if you don't have papeles, if you don't have documentation, right? If you're DACA or you're not DACA, definitely
Mhm.
give a call to this number, right? And there's
Mhm.
different forms of domestic violence. Everyone thinks
Right.
domestic violence is like
Killing.
physical.
Yeah.
It's not. There's mental, there's emotional, there's financial, and then you have physical, right? So there's
Yes.
different types or different forms of domestic violence that we want to make sure people are aware of. I just
Yeah.
had a conversation with someone not too long ago, and
Mhm.
they I was telling them to, call the hotline if they were struggling,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Well, I'm not getting hit." And well, that's not.
Mhm.
Domestic violence is very complex, and there's
Right.
different levels of it. So if you feel like you might be, struggling with domestic violence, give them a call. There's also a website that you can reach out. The National Domestic Violence Hotline has a website. All the facts are there. You can find out, is this actually abuse, right? Um,
Mhm.
just to bring some awareness, 24 people per minute are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner. That's 12 million women and men over the course of a year, right? Nearly 3
Mhm.
in 10 women and 1 in 10 men in the US have experienced rape, physical violence, or stalking, right? 1 out of 4 women and 1 in 7 men ages 18 and older have been victims of physical violence by an intimate partner. So we just want to bring these statistics and bring awareness around these topics, because I think it's important for people to understand what's going on right now in
Mhm.
society. But in regards to the black and white photos, please just make sure that you put the hashtags, right? We want to
Yeah.
honor the Turkey women's rights campaign. That's really what it
Mhm.
is about, and I think we need to bring that attention to what's going on. I mean,
Mhm.
you could just use the hashtag. It's PINARGULTEKIN, hashtag Pinargultekin. So I hope I'm saying that right. But I'm gonna share, they basically, what they want is justice for all girls, daughters, sisters, mothers that are being brutally murdered every single day in Turkey, right? And
Yeah.
now, what do we do? What do we do, right? With even like, I mean, no one's bringing attention to what's going on in Mexico. I mean, you even said, Andrea, uh, that the highest femicide rate is in Tokyo, was it? Or was it
It was Japan.
in Japan? So
Mhm.
obviously there's a global issue here still that is not being addressed. And I guess,
Mhm.
what could we do what could we do right now? What we're doing right now is we're bringing awareness.
Mhm.
That's what we can do right now, as doing this show, putting it on social media. We're bringing awareness to what's going on and trying to educate others around it, right?
Yes.
But we know that, if we want things to be, if we want more laws, more things, we have to lobby for our rights. We have to call senators, we have to call our congressmen, right? Especially in the United States. But yeah, this is definitely a global issue that we'll keep on talking about this. So um,
Mhm.
this is great conversation, though. I think this is, Andrea, do you have any other thoughts that you wanted to share?
um, I've been also wanted to mention that before we move on or whatever. There's um if you're in a domestic violence situation and it's getting out of hand and you need to call the cops but you can't because your significant other is right there. They came up with you're calling the cops but you're ordering a pizza. I don't know if you heard of it, where people call 911 but pretend to order a pizza. So you will, they will ask you, is he there with you? Or are you, they know what it is. So I think you need to order a pepperoni pizza and you give them your address because they have to deliver to you, and you tell them, um, whatever they're asking, they will ask you, is he there with you? And the conversations go like, oh yes, I want a pepperoni large pizza. Like, are you safe? Yes, that will be all. So you will answer the question like if you were talking about a pizza, but you're really not. I'm not sure if you have heard of those phone calls. And it's becoming more, or I've seen pictures where people put like fingers up. I'm not sure what it is, but I've seen people that are like on video calls. Like if we were having a conversation, just you and me as friends, and I just, I really don't know what fingers it is, but let's just say it's a two. I will just be like this, and you will know that I'm in danger. So there's ways that you can tell people you're in danger without your partner knowing you're really telling them. And I feel like it's important to women out there to know that, like you said, there's help. You can call 911, and even if you ask for whatever it is, they will know that you're in a dangerous situation. So don't be scared. I know it's scary to be in those shoes in that place, but what's on the other side after you get out of a relationship like that? It's worth millions. So if you need help, reach out. There's always friends that will also help you. Like if you're suffering right now and you're seeing this, send us a message. Feel free. I speak for myself. Feel free to send me a message and say, "Hey, I need help," and I'll see how we can help you to get out of there. And I'm pretty sure Jennifer as well wouldn't mind getting a message from someone. We need to bring awareness, and not just awareness. We need to help each other out, because with each other, we can get out of that hole easier when you have helping hands to grab you and pull you. So bring awareness of what's going on, and all these women that are killed, and domestic violence. It's a very big, topic. Um, but not just bring awareness, but try to help. You get me? Try to help each other out. And I feel like um, we need to put ourselves out there and say, if you ever need something, call me. I'm available all the time.
And I think a good point to say is this is a 24-hour phone number, the domestic violence hotline. So
Mhm.
anyone can call this number and they can guide them on, again, resources, locations, where they can go for help, right?
Yes.
So I also want to emphasize, call this number because they are trained experts on this
Right.
area, and we want you to get the best support for it's a critical moment, right? And
Yes.
there's a lot to it. For example, having an exit strategy. You don't just leave, right? It's
Right.
very difficult to leave in the midst of an actual attack.
Mhm.
That's why
Mhm.
Andrea's saying call 911 as if you're ordering pizza if you're in immediate danger, right?
Right.
But then sometimes they always say when it comes to domestic violence, you do not leave in the if it's not immediate danger, you do not leave there and then. What you do is you wait until you're in the honeymoon stage. So there's actual stages and a clock when it comes to domestic violence. And a lot of people don't know that you're in your honeymoon stage. Then you're out walking on eggshells. Then you experience an attack. And it's always gonna go like this. It's a circle. It's a pattern. And then
Yes.
when women understand that they're in this pattern, that's when
Mhm.
they know this is when in the honeymoon stage is when you actually make your leave, right? But again,
Mhm.
call that domestic violence hotline for the support that you guys need. If
Mhm.
anyone is struggling in that area, I think this is an important topic. And again, thank you so much, Andrea, for
Mhm.
spending the morning with us
Of
and
course.
sharing some information. We appreciate you being our co-host for this month, and definitely excited to see who we're gonna have on next. week. So if you guys have any comments, questions, we will definitely make sure that, we bring you guys. If you guys want to jump on and be our guest next week, let us know. Maybe we can bring you on next week and have a different conversation, right? So,
Mhm.
any final words, Andrea, or signing off?
Um, no, can't wait for next Monday and have some fun topics to talk about.
Awesome, awesome. So, just a
Mhm.
friendly reminder, right? We have a website, womenselfdevelopment.org. You can follow us at Women Self Development on Instagram and Facebook. And this show is on YouTube.
Mhm.
We have join our free Facebook group for wise women support.
Mhm.
Literally just Google in the groups Wise Women Support Group, and you can
Mhm.
actually have access and learn more, get more inspiration, see more
Yes.
posts, learn about what we're doing. We're constantly having events. I mean, we just finished our run this past week.
Mhm.
A lot of us were running 5Ks, 10Ks, and half marathons. We'll be doing another one November 1st for those that want to jump on board with that. And then if you have any questions, feel free to email us at womenselfdevelopment@gmail.com. And that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. We greatly appreciate you. And thank you again, Andrea. So God bless everyone. We will talk to
Yeah.
you.
Bye.